Story The Best Giver. Written by Abhijit Chakrabarty. One fine morning Arjuna was travelling on his chariot driven by his best friend Krishna. Krishna was telling his love saga with Radha while driving, but Arjuna was silent. After a few miles, Krishna realized his friend was not responding. He halted the chariot to find the reason for his friend's quietness. It seemed he was worried for some reason. His face was sulky. He was thinking something deeply. Something saddened him. What happened? Is something bothering you, Parth? Asked Krishna. Nothing. You, please drive. Arjuna tried to avoid eye contact with Krishna. Krishna sensed Arjuna's concern but couldn't utter a single word. He wanted to listen from Arjuna's mouth. He continued his driving. This time Krishna was silent. A few minutes passed. As Krishna was always talkative, he couldn't sit silently. He somehow wanted to make Arjuna talk. He was not sure how to let it happen. An idea struck in his mind. You are a great giver. People always praise you for it. Worrying doesn't suit you, Parth. Krishna teased Arjuna with the words, sensing his uneasiness. This is the problem. I will never become the great giver in my whole life, exclaimed Arjuna. Parth, share your worries with me, assured Krishna. I am the best giver. But why am I in the second position as a giver after Karna? Why is he always awarded the coveted title of the best giver? Arjuna's eyes were moist. Krishna smiled. He told him, let me take a test to prove who is the best giver. Arjuna did not understand why Krishna wished for such a test where the best giver was standing in front of him. Nevertheless, he was determined to prove his worth. He readily agreed. Krishna stopped the chariot again after a few miles and pointed to Arjuna with his finger towards a distant huge rock. At first, it looked like an ordinary rock, but when they reached there, Arjuna was astonished to notice the huge rock full of gold. He looked back at his friend Krishna. Why have you brought me here, Madhav? What should I do with this huge rock of gold? Inquired Arjuna. Let me narrate to you the story about this huge rock of gold. Krishna began narrating one of his glorious deeds. This is called Swarnapahar. This huge rock emerged from the huge body of a demon named Swarnasura. He was very greedy for gold. He used to slay innocent people after looting their gold accessories. He lived in a jungle and looted the passers-by. Fearing him, people stopped going through the jungle. This was fine as long as he confined himself to looting passers-by in the forest. But I had to appear before him when he came out of the jungle, becoming more greedy for gold and started slaying innocent people randomly. I warned him to stop this heinous crime. However, he dismissed my alert as he had become more powerful and started boasting that his crime was not heinous. As a result, I cut off his head with my chakra. His severed head apologized for his misdeeds and requested me to transform his huge torso into a huge rock of gold so that his torso can be used for charity to the poor. I turned his massive torso into this huge rock of gold in case it could help the many necessitous. Today the day has come. Krishna looked at Arjuna the moment he finished his story. He smiled at Arjuna. Arjuna was curious to know what Krishna's test was. Parth, go home today and take rest. Come tomorrow with many poor people and donate gold from the huge rock to them. In this way, you will become the best giver, assured Krishna. Arjuna was very happy. He was ready to defeat Karna with his superiority to earn the title of the best giver. He could not sleep the whole night because of the excitement. Every minute was passing like an hour. The next day, in the early morning, gathering thousands of poor, he came to the place. Krishna also accompanied him as the charioteer. Arjuna dug gold out of the big rock with his hand and gave a piece of it equally to each poor. Each of the needy praised Arjuna for his charity. He became tired after a few hours, but he didn't stop. By nightfall, he was able to distribute a small portion of gold from the rock. He was exhausted. He approached Krishna to know whether he had passed his test or not. "I think I have passed your test. Now no one can tell me that I am less than Karna. From now on I will be called the best giver," boasted Arjuna. Path, wait for tomorrow. Karna is yet to appear in the test. The result will be announced tomorrow night after Karna's turn is over, confirmed Krishna. The same night, Krishna went to Karna's house to apprise him about the test. Karna was not ready to prove himself as the best giver. He denied participating in such a test. After Krishna's persistent request, he agreed. The next day, he came to the place with numerous needy people. When he was asked to give a piece of gold to each of them, he asked everyone to collect as much gold as possible from the huge rock without involving himself in this noble cause. He is so arrogant. Doesn't know how to help the needy, commented Arjuna, who was watching Karna from a distance. No, Path. In this test, Karna is the winner. Krishna declared the result. Why, Madhav? I dug it out with my hands and distributed the gold piece equally to each of the needy, but he did nothing, leaving the whole thing to the poor people only, inquired Arjuna. I told you to distribute the gold but didn't tell you how? You took responsibility because you wanted to achieve your credibility in return for your charity. But Karna didn't expect anything from anyone. He accomplished his duty. The best giver is the one who never wants anything in return, advised Krishna. Arjuna was standing there in shame. He couldn't utter a word. His whole body went numb. His best friend Krishna taught him a good lesson today. He realized his mistake. He promised not to declare himself as the best giver. His mind was ready to acknowledge Karna was the right person who deserved the coveted title.